Hello there, this is James at Scrofty, James1978, with just a brief video explaining a thought that occurred to me after watching Anubis2814's video discussing the decline of Batman and Superman, and before that, posting a comment on his video discussing diplomacy and soft power, in which I said that I was watching the first part of the animated version of The Dark Knight Returns, which at the time I interpreted as being a perfect example of the myth of hard power, the idea that diplomacy is capitulation and surrender, and that the only way to achieve your goals is, literally in Batman's case, to beat your opponents into submission. As always, the link to Anubis' channel is listed down as the underbar, and I ask everyone to please subscribe to him. But having once made a video asking whether Superman is a communist icon, also links below, heard theories about the Christopher Nolan movies being neoconservative propaganda, once had a blazing row in a podcast over whether Stargate SG-1 was American military interventionist propaganda, and so on and so forth, and completely changed my opinion of The Dark Knight Returns after finishing part 2 of the animated movie, I've now come to realise that one possibility which we are all overlooking when we propose and debate these theories is that far from being deliberate or even conscious, these messages and morals which we perceive as propaganda or otherwise reinforcing political ideologies may simply be the result of lazy writing. After all, in a story about a psychologically traumatized billionaire who goes out at night on a lone quest for vengeance, framing that in libertarian and hard power terms is the path of least resistance, because on the emotional and subconscious level upon which our understanding of abstract concepts such as political ideologies take shape before we've ever even read anything about the issues involved, that's what most people feel about libertarianism, etc. And likewise, the notion of Superman as the personification of the big government's ideal is the result of A, the fact that how else do you write a benevolent and super powerful character who refuses to impose his will or power upon anyone else without getting religion involved, and B, on the same subconscious level, whether they love or despise it, that's how many people feel about so-called big government. Remember, as I've spent more than 200 videos explaining on my main and miscellaneous channels, the root of any issue or position is always how we feel, to the point that the actual facts and evidence are entirely irrelevant, because in the end, no matter what reality itself may say, either we like it, or we hate it, or we don't. It's honestly that simple. But while I don't know if Alan Moore deliberately set out to write libertarian propaganda or Schuster and Siegel's intention was to create a communist icon, the fact remains that in the overwhelming majority of cases, the reason why we infuse and perceive such messages and morals into and within fiction is that this is how the creators and audience already think and feel, meaning that it's much easier and, at least according to common wisdom, more profitable than coming up with anything original or basing the work in reality, which, as I indicated before, would mean challenging, if not outright shattering, the comfortable delusion and conceit of our self-righteous moral absolutes. And as 3 examples of how this applies equally to racism and other prejudices, down in the underbar I've also linked my video dissecting the TV series Monk, as well as 2 videos by MovieBob and Extra Credits analysing Call of Duty Ghosts and Call of Juarez the Cartel respectively, and once again I ask everyone to please subscribe to MovieBob and Extra Credits channels.